Hello everyone, I'm Brian Easterday and welcome back to Eye of the Storm Astrology. So in today's video, I wanted to continue the series Moon Through the Signs. And the last one I did was Moon Through Virgo. So if you haven't checked out the previous ones, go back and do that. And today we'll be discussing Moon in Libra. But before I do that, go ahead and do me a favor, hit the like button, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss out on any of the valuable content that's going to be coming out, because there's a lot of it. And I don't want you to miss any of the ones that you would want to be able to apply to your own chart or that could be useful for you. So Moon, when it goes into Libra, Moon can do well here. Libra is a sign that is ruled by Venus, and it's the masculine expression of Venus. So it very much deals with communication, relationships, the marketplace, laws, those different type of things. It is associated with the element of air. So again, you see that association with like it's a very intellectual sign. There'll be people that they tend to like to communicate. But much like whenever Moon goes into Gemini, people with Moon in Libra or like Libra ascendants, they can go through experiences like in their early life where they go from the different poles or the different extremes. And the purpose of that is so you can find balance, because Libra is associated with the scales, and it's the scales of like the marketplace. So they want things to be fair. They're the people that they want everybody to be benefiting. They're very good at like negotiation or being kind of the in-between between other parties, because they have a good ability to be objective, to kind of see everybody's side and perspective on it. Whereas say like some other placements like Moon and Leo, like we spoke about, or with like a Leo sin or something, that might be harder, because one of the things with them is they can kind of, their lessons is to not get caught in their own projection, to learn to set that projection aside. A Moon in Libra will be a person that they tend to, or anyone with like a Libra ascendant even, they'll tend to have an ability to set that ego aside and look at all sides of things. Now, when we think of the scales, everybody, they use this word balance, but what is balance really? Balance is not this just neutral or stagnant state of being. Balance is actually a very dynamic thing. It's being able to lean into the masculine or the feminine, or into this or that, in order to, maintain kind of a middle ground when need be. But whenever you need to, lean into one when it's appropriate, or lean into the other when it's appropriate. So this is one of the big lessons for people with the Libra ascendant, is that they really have to kind of figure out where the edges are, where the polarities are, and then learn how to lean into those different extremes, and like when it's appropriate. But also, even when you're leaning into one side, keeping in mind that there's still a balance with the other side. So I'll give an example. So imagine a person who, they might be upset with something, right? So instead of just having an immediate like emotional reaction, like say Moon in like a water sign could, they can then go and they'll start thinking about it, right? They'll balance it out with the masculine, and they'll really analyze things. They'll look at everybody's perspective. They'll take in as much information as they can, and they'll be weighing the different options. Now, if a person has like done that, and then they still feel like, oh no, there's a justified reason to be upset or whatever it is, then yeah, they could lean more into the emotions to express something. But that doesn't mean that they're coming from an only emotional place. It can be backed up on that logic, and that they ran it through the logic, they balanced with the masculine, and still came into the conclusion that no, I need to lean more into this, or vice versa in the situation of like, oh, I've analyzed my emotions and I see that they're not so rational, even though I still feel them. So now I need to lean into like what's rational, even though that may not necessarily be exactly what I'm feeling, in the moment, or whatever that is, however the situation can go. Being able to use both of them at the same time and lean into one without forgetting the other. That's a big lesson for people with moon in Libra, or someone that has like a Libra ascendant. They'll tend to be people that can be very good with communication, or on the flip side of that, they can maybe be not so good with it. Either way, there's a theme of dealing with communication. But the thing is that depending on which extreme they've learned or where they're at in their phase of growth, they can learning to speak up can be something that someone with like a moon in Libra has maybe some trouble with, because they want to keep the peace all the time. So because of that, they'll sometimes allow people to kind of push them over as a way of just like trying to maintain and keep everybody happy. They can kind of fall into people pleasing. And the reason is they will see the other, say for example, there's a couple people like working on a project or something, and one person really wants to do something one way, and the other person, like the person with moon and Libra or something, they may not necessarily like care either way. Well, they'll tend to just let the other person like do what they want or whatever. But and that could be fine in some extent. But if that was something that was like a repeated pattern to where that there wasn't a balance in that, it was just like pushed into a polarity, then that would kind of eventually cause a problem, obviously. So you have to learn to really recognize what polarity you actually need to lean into. Like, oh no, I'm feeling like I really need to feel like I feel like this is an important thing, so I need to speak up about it. And sometimes it's okay that like you have to realize it's not up to you to keep the peace all the time. It's not up to you to keep everybody's emotions balanced or to keep them from getting upset or any of those different things. You have to learn to figure out how to maintain your balance within first. Then that result will be seen in the external world as well. So that's going to wrap this video up. If you guys found this valuable, remember to like, subscribe, hit that notification button. That way you don't miss any other videos that you might enjoy. And let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have a moon in Libra or some planet in Libra that, this is something that you can resonate with, or do you not resonate with it at all? I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments. If you need to get in contact with me for looking at consultations, courses, you want to email me to ask a question, whatever it may be, you can click the link that I'll put in the description below. That's to my link tree, and that's kind of a one-stop shop where it has my website, social media, email, everything you need. It'll get you where you need to go. So that's going to wrap this one up, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. I always appreciate the support. And remember, by creating more awareness, we create more opportunity to be the best versions of ourselves. I'll see you guys next time.